read what's on the slate.
Intro, take one. Oh. Welcome back to Purpose Built. So back into the Kombi again today. So I'm waiting on brake stuff to turn up, so gonna jump into the engine. So this one is, 70s Type 1 engine, twin port, 1641cc. It's just a bit of a bitter engine that I've chucked together for now. It should be pretty good. It's all been refreshed on the inside, but haven't gone overboard. And yeah, gonna have to do the auxiliaries for the engine. So I got the fan shroud and a few of the other metal tinware pieces that keep it all nice and air cooled. And yeah, just gonna have to go through them, knock out any dents that are there and get it all tidied up to take to the powder coater. So yeah, the shroud on air cooled engine, alternator runs a fan. Fan in the shroud pushes the air over the top of the engine, keep it nice and cool. And so today we want to make sure get as many of the larger air gaps down as small as we can, so it's cooling as well as possible. And so yeah, just want to fiddle with it all and make it all nice and tight. And so that way, when we're running and driving around, it's doing its job. So on the shrouds, being a little bit old, we just want to panel beat them, get them all nicely fitting to the other bits and pieces of the engine. Just before I take it to the powder coaters, just to make sure it's all gonna line up properly when I get them back and it's all gonna fit. Up at the bench and gonna chuck the fan shrouds and other bits and pieces on. So lower engine tin, this piece goes over the cylinders on both sides, and air coming through top part here after we put the fan shroud on, over the top and then out through the bottom. And so we'll chuck both of these on and then it'll make a bit more sense. So now that I've test fitted both these pieces on and they're not too bad, I'm going to test fit the fan shroud, making sure there's no big horrendous gaps that are going to let all the air out. And so that piece sits in there like that, and yeah, I'm going to chuck 2 screws in it. That sits in place. But yeah, the major gaps we've got to look out for is down in here where all the mating surfaces are. So it's not looking too bad, but I'll chuck some screws in it and we'll see how it looks. Shroud on, looking really good. Lines up with the bottom tins pretty nicely. Not too much of an air gap down the bottom here, which is what we're going to look out for, but we'll check it again after we get most of the other bits on. So I thought I'd better show you how it works. So fan goes in here, and I'll grab the other bits I haven't showed you. Alternator support and the alternator and bracket. So the way it works is air coming into the engine bay gets brought in the back of the engine through the fan, over the top of the engine and then out through the bottom. So it's not recirculating heat. And so with any holes we have in the engine bay or in the tin, it'll suck hot air again and overheat your engine. So the plan with today is to make sure we get all those little gaps as small as possible, just to make it run as well as possible. So now we've got all this on, I'll take this off because it doesn't need to be on there, and we're going to flip it over and do the bottom tins. Now I've got it all rolled over, going to have to chuck the exhaust on so I can run the other tins. Looking pretty good. Gonna fit the lower tins. They're a little bit bent, but I should be able to bash them into submission. So we'll chuck them on. And now thinking about it, I need to do it the other way. So at this point I'd realised that I'd stuffed up, and the tin's meant to go on first and then the exhaust. So exhaust off and then tin's back on and then exhaust back on. All the lower tins in place. Next up, the exhaust, just because they all come together and bolt together there. Just want to make sure they're all pretty good. A little bit of panel beating as well. I'll do off camera, just because you don't need to see that. And yeah, we'll just chuck them on now. Gonna wrap it up for today. Got it all pretty close to where I need it. A few other little bits and pieces I'll check out and test fit just to make sure they're all right. And then that way tomorrow I can pull it all off and get it all ready to send off to the powder coaters. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks.